What the hell?
Just put your hands up.
What's going on, guys? K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a great day. Hope you're enjoying this massive pump as Bitcoin, even as I'm speaking, is continuing to push to the upside. Now, for everyone who's been following the channel, this was a move that we were anticipating. Now, in all fairness, we didn't know it was going to pump this hard, but we knew that all the indicators were pointing to seller exhaustion. And very simply put, what we were waiting for was this very, very small downtrend, right? Where we had this flipped support, it fell back down. Again here, it was acting as resistance. And we knew as soon as we came out of this trend, retouched it, we were going to be off to the races, right? And Bitcoin has been on a massive, massive tear. In fact, just to put this into perspective, from the absolute bottom wick to the top right here, you could see Bitcoin has actually pumped over 50%. This is a massive, massive rally, but we need to talk about what is in front of us right now because we are approaching some very, very critical levels. Now, last night I did have an emergency video. Some of you may have not seen it, which is why you have to turn on the bell notifications because sometimes, especially now during these crazy volatile moments, we need to get these updates out super quick. And this is the situation that we had. Bitcoin was never able to break this downtrend going all the way back to November of 2021. That's how long this has been holding us down. And you can see right here, guys, we broke through it. And when I put the video out, we were literally breaking out exactly at the line. And since then, Bitcoin pumped another 6.5% just since I made the video last night. So again, you guys have to turn on the bell notifications, but we're going to dive in. We're going to try to keep this video a little bit short. I will be traveling, just so you guys know, next week. So this is another reason. The time schedule may be a little bit different. So you're going to want to get subscribed and check that out. So let's dive in. Let's have a look. And if you do appreciate this content, we've been putting out a lot more videos than usual. You know, slap a like on it helps for everyone else to find these videos, right? We do want to share this information. So let's dive in and let's see. There's a few interesting things I want to point out. So the BLX chart is exactly 1 day behind, right? It's one of the oldest. It's a little older than clearly older than the index. And you can see right here, look at this level. So number one, I want to point out where we had that first consolidation, right? So we had this area right here where we knew that Bitcoin was struggling to break above. And look at all these times we tried to break up, we had that consolidation, right? We could say that that was forming a flag and boom. Now what's crazy is to see where we had that daily close. Now, obviously, we're higher than that today, but I just want to show you the psychology of the markets. Look at where that daily close closed. I mean, you could not have picked that level, you know, literally off by what, like $50 maybe? And that is because of this level back here. So Bitcoin so far has actually been able to now take out these two previous highs. And you can see right here, what we are doing is starting to put in a higher high structure, right? Even compared to this one, this is a higher high slightly, right? Or at least it is today. This chart's a day old. If we come over here, you'll also notice psychologically on the CME futures, we did not get down and close this gap. Unfortunately, I still think that it is a possibility that we close this around 20. But again, look at exactly where these markets closed. Right there, just below the major downtrend. So just keep that in mind. That's like the psychological level that the markets are looking at. But remember, Bitcoin is 24/7, right? It's trading over the weekend, and I don't trust weekend volume, by the way. It's a little bit lower than usual, but as we can see right here, what are we doing? Well, we had that consolidation right here, right between this level. We broke out above that, and now we had resistance again. If we go back here, right, we had this pivot right here. We zoom in. What are we doing? We were consolidating above it, and now we're below it, and now we're consolidating above it. So there is still a lot of bullish momentum for Bitcoin, but there is one thing that we absolutely, positively have to pay attention to. And while we can celebrate that we've broken some short-term, higher lows, or higher highs, on the lower time frame, we cannot deny that the most important level for Bitcoin in Bitcoin's history, and I don't care how you slice it, how you dice it, it is the 200 weekly. Now, I'm going to take this off. I'm going to take all these drawings off, and we're going to pay attention to this 200 weekly, this pink line. Very, very simple chart. Not going to get complicated here. Let's explain it to a 5-year-old. This is the situation. So right here, you could see that this provided, and of course we dipped below it a little bit right here. As soon as we got back above it, right? We were above it. We fell below. It provided support. And as soon as we got back above it right here in October of 2015, the bull run started. If we fast forward here, where did we bottom out? Right here in 2018, we bottomed out, right? And we started to have that bottom formation. We continued to the upside, and that was the full-on support. So it just supported us. We were good to go. Over here, we had the COVID crash. Yes, we dipped below it, but we closed a candle above it. So you could see that for the majority of Bitcoin's history, in fact, for the entirety of Bitcoin's history, this has been the major, major support. Now, what happened over here was we had a little bit of a fake out. We fell below it, and then it became resistance. Now, if you know anything about trading, the simplest explanation for resistances and supports is that when you have something that acts as a very, very, very long time support, for example, this area right up here for Bitcoin, you can see we had a lot of support between 28,000 and 30. That is a very, very big area that will become major resistance, right? Because when you're looking at something, for example, that was resistance here, breaking through resistance as a new resistance isn't as big of a deal, right? If you have a little bit of resistance, you come down, you touch it a couple times, you come above it, no problem. But when you have something that's been acting as support, okay, pretty much since we had the inception of it, right? 200 weeks started forming around September of 2013. That's when we had literally enough data to start drawing this moving average. We have been above it. We are currently below it. And I just want to point out right now, guys, yes, it's great that we broke the downtrend, right? That's awesome. But the ultimate level, you cannot deny this, is getting above this 200 weekly moving average. This 200 weekly moving average is sitting today at $24,650. That to me is going to be the level. Now you can see right here, we do have this crazy wick, right, when we had this crash, and that came down to about 25,200, right? And if I just put my drawings back on, you could see that level, right here. Follow this white line. And what's going to end up happening? Can you guys see what's happening right here? You see this is on a constant upslope, right? This 200 weekly. And what it's going to end up doing is it's going to end up coming up here something like this. Okay. And what Bitcoin is going to end up doing at some point, whether we have a retest or not, if we do continue to the upside, we are going to run into these two major resistances. Okay. The 25 is, somewhat of a level to note, but this 200 is extremely important. So before we can officially pop the champagne bottles and truly honestly say that we are back in a bull run, we have to close above this moving average. Okay. So at some point over the next couple weeks, the next month, I don't know how long it'll take. Maybe we have a little bit of a cool off, right? There's always that chance that we come down here, we retest this slope, right? Just to confirm, which would be a great opportunity to take another long if you guys are not already in a long, because, down here we had an excellent entry point, which by the way, if you guys want to learn how to trade, you know the drill. There's $56,000 in bonuses above. Make sure you watch that tutorial, but that is the level to watch. So, and honestly, I want you guys to know, I'm not being a bear at all. I have a lot of Bitcoin. Everybody knows that, right? I'm heavily exposed to Bitcoin. I have more Bitcoin than any other asset. So I am in the camp of I want Bitcoin to go up, right? And long-term, Bitcoin will succeed. I believe in $1 million Bitcoin in our lifetime. I think it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. But right now, given the circumstances, we cannot fully celebrate until we break that level. So I just wanted to be honest with you guys. Now, let's say we do have a pullback. Let's say we get rejected, hypothetically, right? Let's say that we do come up here and we get rejected at around the 24,000, or we zoom past it, right? We have that fake out and then we can't hold above it, right? Like something like we had back here, where we actually do close above it for a month, but then we get faked out to the downside. Where is that next level of support? Well, this goes back to the 200 daily, right? Remember the 200 daily, we came up here, and as soon as we hit it, you guys can see right here, we got rejected, right? And we weren't able to ever get above it. Right here, we did break. Now, this is obviously going to slope up. You can see it's starting to slope up now, right? It's a lower moving average. So, we could come over here, and there's a possibility that if we just went sideways, we could stay at this level all the way until March of this year. And that'd be fine. Then we would run into it, right? But what you want to do is not fall below this, right? So this is a moving average. It does change, over the course of the day. As of today, that level is sitting at around 19,580, right? So if we did have that pullback, you would not want to fall lower than that. So in a nutshell, right, our ceiling right now is the 200 weekly, which is currently sitting at 24,650, and our floor is currently the 200 on the daily, sitting at around 19,580. That is our zone of trading, okay? Falling below this would be bearish. Breaking above this and holding above this would be bullish, okay? So even though on the short term we do have a lot of bullish action, you have to be serious, and if you're very serious, if you're dollar cost averaging like I do all the time, fine, you're good. If you're trading this, if you're trying to swing trade or whatever, this is what you need to be concerned about. And what also you need to be concerned about is that the DXY, the dollar, has been in this very long downtrend. It's down about 11.5% now. I do think it could be time for the dollar to have at least a chance to come up and retest its 200 daily, okay? Which is currently sitting at 106.44. So there's a chance, from bottom to top, and I'm not saying it's gonna happen today or tomorrow, but you could see a 4.5% rally in the dollar. If you do see that, at least in the short term, you may see that pullback. There's a lot of people that are looking at this downtrend on the S&P, and they're seeing that we've put in that higher low, and they've seen that we keep trying to break this uptrend. Now, while Bitcoin has actually broken out thus far of its uptrend, the DXY has not been able to, the S&P has not been able to do that yet. So lots of things we have to look forward to. And also, guys, don't forget, okay, coming up in the first week of February, we have the FOMC meeting. Now, there are a lot of people that are expecting the FOMC to raise by 25 basis points, right? If they do, we may actually have a continuation of the rally, possibly, depending on the hawkish tone. However, if they come out and they decide that they're going to go with 0.5%, 50 basis points, I think it's like 96 or 97% are looking at 0.25%. So if they come out with 0.5%, that could literally throw a wrench in the gears of the markets and send everything back down again. And obviously, I'm not trying to be bearish, guys. While everyone else was bearish, we were one of the few channels that were extremely bullish at these levels. You guys know that. We were calling for this move, but we've had that move, okay? And markets don't go up in a straight line. So make sure you get subscribed. Pay attention, guys. I wanted to make this a little bit shorter. I got a lot of things I got to do today. I'm going to try to keep the content coming out, but we have to be realistic. We have to be smart. We have to use our brains. Long term, yes, Bitcoin is going to do well. And I personally believe that by mid 2024, we could be putting in new all-time highs, as in breaking that, not like to 200,000, but I think we could be above 60, 70,000 by mid 2004. I would be shocked if it happened this year, but then again, based on what's been happening, I guess anything can happen. But let's be safe. Let's be smart. I love you guys. You're awesome. I hope you're enjoying this pump. I hope you're enjoying your weekend. Monday's going to be a big day. See what happens. Markets may continue to rally into the FOMC meeting. So we may have a great month, for the rest of this month. We may even hit that $25,000 mark. It's not that far away, but be very, very cautious of that 200 weekly, because we know that it has literally been the absolute support for Bitcoin during its entire existence. And right now it's acting as resistance, right? So long-term support becomes the hardest resistance to overcome. So be safe out there. You guys are awesome. Congratulations to everybody that's been, killing it, absolutely killing it. I have had so many people reach out to me and send me messages saying, thank you for sticking it out. We appreciate it. And guys, that's what I'm here for. I'm not here. I don't have any courses. We're not charging anything over here. If you do want to help support the channel, you guys want to buy a ledger or something like that, sign up with a link. Great. Thank you so much. You don't have to do that. I just want to see you guys succeed. And I want you to stay ahead of the curve and realize that there's a lot of people right now that are not interested in Bitcoin. They're not buying Bitcoin. They just don't realize the potential for this asset class. And you, my friends, are in fact the future millionaires. So thank you so much for coming back to the channel. You're awesome. If you do want to learn how to trade, make sure you watch this tutorial. And that's it for me. My name's K-Dub. This is Crypto Zombie. Until next time, stay crypto. And of course, peace out.